Are you looking for the best rice cookers? In this video, we will look at some of the 6 best rice cookers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Panasonic SR-DF101 Rice Cooker. The Panasonic is another simple model, the one that food photographer Neil Santos has also used for a decade, both personally and at his Philly-based Filipino pop-up, Lalo, which unfortunately closed due to the pandemic. I'm not a high-tech kind of person, and this only has a few settings. That's what I grew up with in a Filipino household, he says. It can be on all the time and stay warm. It has a little basket that can steam veggies over the rice. Sometimes I'll use it for other dishes as well. The Philippines has a lot of rice desserts like suman, which is sticky rice wrapped in banana leaf. I put the suman in there and let it stay warm. That's how we used it at the restaurant. We were in a food hall, so everything was small, and this was an efficient way to do things. Reviewers of the Panasonic agree. The keep warm function is so convenient, writes one, and I never end up with burnt rice that's impossible to clean off the pot. In fact, I usually only have to give the pot a quick rinse when I'm done and it's good to go. Another says it's even better than the Zojirushi when it comes to that particular setting. It keeps white or brown rice warm and ready to eat for 24 hours, without the rice drying out and becoming too hard and brittle, they write. The 10-cup Zojirushi we have will dry out the rice overnight. At number 2. Zojirushi NSTSC10 Rice Cooker. In my reporting, Zojirushi came up more than any other brand. It has a fancier model with even more settings that multiple experts mentioned. You can read about that one further down the list, but this one, especially given that it's less than half the price of the other, makes for an all-around great buy. Food writer and recipe developer Kiara Wright Ruiz had to leave hers behind when she recently moved to Hawaii. She told me it's the thing she misses the most. I'm sure people have said this before, but it really is the Lamborghini of rice cookers, she says. The standout reason is what Zojirushi calls fuzzy technology, or a built-in microcomputer that can sense how your rice is cooking and adjust the time and temperature so that even if you add too little or too much water, it will self-correct, says Wright Ruiz. You get a consistent texture with a margin of error. Another particularly appealing feature is the ability to preset when you want your rice to cook. For example, if you're braising something that takes 3 hours, you can time it so that the rice is done simultaneously. Finally, though perhaps not the most imperative to the rice itself, Zojirushi's machines play music when you start them, an adaptation of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and when they're done cooking, and it's clearly delightful enough that everyone who recommended the brand, again, more on the rest of those folks, below, made mention of the jingles. At number 3. Imusa Electric Non-Stick Rice Cooker. Recipe developer and writer Justine Dwaran loves her rice cooker because of its simplicity and reliability. She first bought it about 8 years ago at Target because it was the cheapest one she could find. Despite the notably low price, the machine has proven to be incredibly durable and has never done me wrong, she says. The Imusa comes with a measuring cup and instructions on how much water to add, depending on what variety of rice you're making. Other than that, it operates with a single cook button and a setting to keep food warm if you want. When a cooking appliance is only meant for one use, you don't need the fanciest model, Dwaran says. At number 4. Pars Automatic Persian Rice Cooker. The Pars Persian rice cooker is built to do something different from all the others on this list, make tadig, the ubiquitous, crispy layer of rice at the bottom and top, when you turn it over, of many preparations of Persian rice dishes. I'm an avid home cook, but rice was always tough for me, and that's part of why for a while I avoided cooking a lot of Persian food, says writer Arya Roshanian, who chronicled his foray into using the Pars for Vox last year. Funny enough, his mom and grandmother both used one, and it was during the pandemic that he finally decided it was time to get one himself. In fact, he has 2 now, the smaller 4-cup he started out with, and a larger 7-cup he uses to make tadig for a crowd. It's user-friendly, he says, something that my 85-year-old grandma, who only speaks Farsi and isn't that good at technology, can figure out. The first time I used it, I was thinking I would need to try a few times in order to get it right, but it came out pretty perfectly, and then each subsequent time too. Roshanian also likes that the insert is lightweight and non-stick, so it's super easy to flip out and clean. At number 5. Cuckoo CRPP 1009 SB Pressure Rice Cooker. I bought a Cuckoo because that's what my mom and aunts use, says Joanne Lee Molinaro, better known as the Korean vegan. When you go to a Korean grocery store, you see a bunch of Cuckoos all over the place. Molinaro uses hers, a slightly older but similar model to the one listed, primarily for brown rice as well as mixed rice, the setting for which she uses every time she adds soybeans, farro, pearl barley, and even chestnuts and sweet potatoes. For food writer Justine Lee, who has the more recent model, the multi-cook setting is where it stuns. Multi-cook essentially turns the appliance into a pressure cooker and allows you to adjust the time and heat level. Both are as easy as dialing the knob to set, says Lee. It's how I steam a bunch of Korean sweet potatoes right before road trips and quell my bean hankerings come summertime. I've even followed recipes fitted for a traditional instant pot such as cinnamon buns and yakbap, which can get sticky. But cleanup with this rice cooker is a breeze across the board. If you're interested in the brand but don't care so much about the multi-cook feature, strategist editor Maxine Builder has an even older version of this under $100 Cuckoo that still works perfectly after she's used it for the past several years. Her exact model is even older than the one linked and not available online anymore. At number 6. Instant Pot 6QT Dual Pressure Cooker. It's no secret that the Instant Pot can do a lot, but strategist senior editor Jen Trolio primarily uses hers for rice, making it for her family of 4 at least once a week. She takes a stainless steel mixing bowl, fills it with equal parts water and rice, and sets it inside the Instant Pot on top of the wire rack the unit comes with. Then she puts a ½ inch or so of water at the bottom of the larger container, not covering the top of the rack. She cooks on high pressure for 4 minutes, then does the slow release for about 10 minutes, with a manual release if there's any pressure remaining at the end. With a little fluff, it's ready to go. It's nice to have the you nearly set it and forget it convenience of a rice cooker that is also multi-purpose for pressure cooking, slow cooking, and so on, Trulio says. Obviously we could still do rice on the stove, but on top of the convenience, the Instant Pot can be shoved to the edge of the counter and not take up a burner.